So y'all know I get random messages from my spirit team, right? If you've been following me a while, you already know that. Well, I have another one. And I had to write this one down because actually what I did was I pulled up my notes app and I spoke into it and it wrote it for me because I can't ever remember what I channel. I am going to read to you what I channeled. So, and I can't see, so I'm going to put my glasses on. Just as there are many types of lights among humanity, there are also many different types of light that exist in the universal consciousness. When you observe the divine reflection in everything around you, when you recognize that all things are exact replicas or reflections of the divine itself, creating itself and reflecting into itself, you begin to see that everything in existence is based on frequency and the perspective of the being that is creating. We are that being. Keep that in mind. As you see on Earth, there are many different kinds of light, both within the human being and outside of the human form. To help you understand, we will use an example based on your 3D reality. You use many types of artificial lighting in your homes, buildings, and environments. Light bulbs that illuminate the space around you and push away the darkness. But as you likely know, not all bulbs are the same. Each one has a different frequency and emits a different quality of life. Depending on the type of light you're exposing it to, your reflection in the mirror might change. You may miss certain details, or you may see things you hadn't noticed before, all because the type of light you're seeing yourself through. This is why many of you have come to Earth to assist in the shift of consciousness that must rise above the light you once held and begin to radiate more pure. The refined frequency, a higher light, one that moves at the speed of divine awareness so that others too can begin to see themselves more clearly. Let's return to the metaphor. If you were to take the same mirror you were using indoors and bring it outdoors into the pure sunlight, you would see a completely different reflection of yourself. This example is meant to help you understand how each perspective is unique, how perception depends greatly on the frequency of light you are seeing yourself in. Because of this, it becomes increasingly important that you begin to see yourself through purity and clarity of your true self, your divine energy, your I am essence. And so, we come to you now to teach you and help you ascend into this higher frequency, to become that radiant, energetic light that helps shift the perspectives of those who are still searching for themselves by looking only outward. No one finds lasting fulfillment or truth by solely looking at the world around them and expecting it to satisfy their needs. All true knowing comes from the reflections within. Once that inner reflection is attuned to a certain frequency, everything in your external world will begin to match it. This is where you begin to understand your unique desires, the truth of who you really are, and how to manifest the life you truly long for. But in doing so, you must use the right light, the right comprehension, and the right reflection, which requires you to know thyself deeply. So I love when my spirit team gives me examples that we can comprehend in our human mind. And this was one of the coolest examples I've channeled, where they talked about literal different types of light bulbs. If you know what I'm talking about, you can go into a bathroom that has horrible lighting and you look in it and you're like, man, I look good. Like, look at this. And then you go out into your car and you look in the rear view mirror and you notice you have whiskers all over your chin, or your mascara is smeared over here, or something's going on, or you missed a part of your beard, whatever it might be for you when you look in the mirror. But you didn't see it when you were in the bathroom. You didn't see it in the other lighting. And this is the shifts in frequency that we're all going through as we're rising in our consciousness. And those of us that are already in that self-awareness where our consciousness has risen enough that we can comprehend our own, like be aware of ourselves, be aware of who we are, how our decisions impact other people, how to create others equally, how, like, all the reflections that we hold, the values that we hold, are the things that we are sharing with the world, the light that we are wanting to manifest into the world around us and to reflect back to us. So as we shift into frequency, more and more of us awaken to our true self, because the light that we're looking at ourselves in shifts and change based on the level of consciousness that you're in. So when you're shifting and awakening into higher frequencies, the version of yourself, the way you see yourself, the way you reflect that self into the world becomes completely different. And this is why the inner work is so important, because you can't change your own light without knowing what light you already are in. And then working on that, because I'm telling you, if you put more and more energy into light, imagine what happens. It becomes brighter and brighter and brighter. So instead of putting energy into things that create more darkness, start creating energy and putting it into the things that create more light in yourself first, and then shine that out into the world.